What do you think the key mental characteristics are for a person who, is just constantly just crushing their goals?
Definitely very common growth,
Yep.
ownership, but being able to bounce back when something goes wrong.
Resilience.
Yes.
Love that.
Easy. Like,
Yep.
yes, acknowledged it didn't go to plan, or things pop up, life happens, but seeing that, so you set yourself up for when it does happen again, you're prepared.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it doesn't happen again, or it minimizes the time that you're in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as much as we would, love to say it, it's like that it's always going to be like this smooth linear ride. So it's like, if you want to lose weight, it's just like, here's the top, here's the bottom. It just keeps going down. Like life gets in the way, things happen, you've got to have that ability to like bounce back, and you got to have the support too as well. Like it's not as easy to just, pick yourself up after something and just keep pushing hard,
Pretty much. But also seeing that, say if there is a pushback, you haven't failed.
No.
Yeah.
Or your progress isn't just gone to shit.
Yeah.
It's very normal to see those roadblocks.
Absolutely.
And we just pivot.
Yeah, it's normalizing the reality of that, I think, is super important.
I put something out about this the other week. It's like, what are the average of someone's worst days, weeks over 12-week, 52-week training cycle tells me is way more indicative to their outcomes for me than their best weeks.
Yeah, of course. Well, how many best weeks are you actually having?
Correct. So it's like, what can you do when either you go off plan for a day, or you have that obstacle in life, or you have work's busy, or whatever? It's like, how do you respond in those situations will have a greater impact on how close you fly to perfection every week. And most people focus on perfection, and then when something breaks, absolute fuck it, because I'm not even close to perfection. Whereas if you just sit reasonable to that, and when something breaks, it's not a big drop, that'll have exponentially better impact than moving from 95% to 100%.
Yeah, I agree. So you mentioned it briefly. For the people at home, growth mentality, growth mindset, like what would be an example of that?
I was listening to another coach.
How dare you?
I know. But they were saying how growth mindset is more of a spectrum.
Yep.
And so it's not that whether you do or you don't. There's going to be a time and place where you need to nail in and go all in on that. Other times when you need a bit more of a growth mindset, you kind of just wave it between.
Yep.
But if you can lean into more of a growth mindset, you'll see a lot more return on your investment.
Yeah. So would you say, so if someone was like, I've never heard of the term, how would they know what a growth mindset is? Like, what would be the easiest way to describe it for them?
Being open to change.
Yeah.
Change is scary. And so usually that's the thing that holds people back.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, you've done something for a very long time, but just because you have doesn't mean you should. And that's probably the exact same thing that's keeping you where you are at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think like you said it perfectly. It's like being open to change. And then again, you use the perfect example then. It's like the opposite of growth is being fixed. So as soon as someone's just like, well, I'm never going to lose weight. I can't do this. This is too hard for me, where it's, a real uphill battle for someone in that mentality, where if you're the kind of person where it's like, with the right plan and the right guidance and the right education and obviously the right effort, I can lose weight. I can feel better. I can get in shape. I can get stronger. I can 100%. Do whatever I want.
Yes.
So we want to have people on this side, not the people who totally normal.
Yeah.
You're frustrated, you haven't gotten results for a bit, or you're going 5 days a week and you're not getting anywhere. It's like, that is the person that goes, I can't, because they're trying and it's not working for them.
Yeah.
But we still want to be in the position where it's like, you can, there's nothing wrong with you, you're not broken.
Well, yeah, that's it. Instead of looking in the mirror and go, there's something wrong with you, it's the methods that you're using aren't suitable for you.
Yeah, I just need to try another way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And then, so like moving on to the last one, ownership.
Yeah.
How would we describe that to somebody?
Accountability, where you're raising yourself up to a higher standard.
Yep.
you're not there to put yourself down and keep yourself down, because that's easy. Everyone can be very self-critical, and we all know that. Like, we're our own worst
enemies.
critic
Yeah.
and enemies.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always in there. In even the best athletes, best of the best, they have their own worst critic in their minds. It's how they use that to fuel them the other way to get the results that they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just taking responsibility as well. Like, we don't want to be in a position where we're leaving the end outcome up in the hands of somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on you to go to the gym. It's on you to
100%.
make your meal prep and show up and be consistent and make it work. Like, the plan's there, and we've got really good ways of setting the plan up with our method to get the result you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't show up, you can't sit there and blame somebody else for it. It's like, this is on me.
Well, yeah,
you
that's
know?
it. There's so much more control within your control than most realize.
Yeah.
And it's when you start pointing the fingers outwards, say, like, there's no time, or work's been just all over the joint. And, there's so many reasons externally that you can point. But until you take ownership and take that responsibility, you can only go so far.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling either.
No.
Like,
It's going to feel like the world's stacked up against you.
Yeah.
yeah, even when you're not owning up to your shit, and then you have that conversation with yourself, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
go to the gym, and I can be better with my meals. Like,
Yeah. It's like life's happening to you.
yeah,
Is it like people who don't have that ownership will often live in a world where life is happening to them, and it's really hard to make any changes because you don't feel like you can affect change in anything.
yeah,
So, yeah. The way we encapsulate it's just like, it's whether it's your fault or not, it's still your responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not like whether it's your fault or not that life's busy, that your kid kept you up, that like whatever it was that was the interruption for that day,
yeah,
still your responsibility to find the best possible outcomes in that environment for that day.
yeah,
And if you can live like that, and it's not, this is happening to me,
Yeah.
and I still have control over what I have control over, that's where those, when we were saying before, like the down days become way less down.
yeah, yeah. I love that. All right, so I feel like we've nailed the mentality part of it. It's like, if you believe that with the right plan and the right guidance and stuff, that you can achieve the results that you want, if you take responsibility for your actions and the scenario with the support of somebody else, or just your plan. And then, like you said before, if you're coachable, if you got that resilience, like, you're set to crush your goals. Now it's just about the other moving parts, like nutrition. So